company Sprint shut down a cell phone tower on the campus of a California elementary school after some parents said it may be linked to several recent cases of childhood cancer. Now, those families at Weston Elementary School in Ripon claim the tower could have exposed their kids to harmful radiation. Sprint says the tower is safe and has operated well below federal safety limits, but the company turned it off anyway and plans to move it to a new location. Carter Evans spoke to the families at the center of the controversy.
My son missed growing up with his friends. My son lost all of his hair. It's not something that I wish on anybody, to watch their child go through what our children have gone through.
Kelly Prime's son Kyle was just 10 years old when he was diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2016. 5 months later, Kyle's friend and classmate Mason Ferrulli developed brain cancer.
14 hours to get the tumor out, and he had 5 weeks of inpatient rehabilitation. He had to learn to walk, talk, eat, everything all over again.
2 more kids at the school were diagnosed this year.
At what point are you saying, we ought to take a close look at the school here?
The moment that I found out that Mason had been diagnosed, it popped into my mind that something was not okay.
The moms believe the recent increase in cancer cases could be caused by radiation from radio frequency, or RF waves, coming from this cell tower located on the elementary school campus.
It is classified as a possible carcinogen. That tells us that there is some evidence out there. We're not naive to the fact that there could be other components out there, other environmental influences, but the bottom line that we feel in regards to this tower is it doesn't belong there if there's any indications that it's unsafe.
You figure it's not worth the risk?
Absolutely.
The school district hired engineers to measure the exposure and concluded the tower met government and industry standards in all respects and posed no threat to student safety. The parents hired their own investigator, who found much higher RF levels than the district did, but still within government safety standards.
Sprint takes safety very seriously.
Sprint's Dharma Nordell says 3 tests have shown the cell tower is operating 100 times below the federal limit.
Let me just ask you flat out, does Sprint believe that tower could be causing cancer?
Absolutely not. It is not a safety concern to the community, but we do hear the community's concerns, so we're quickly working to relocate the tower.
Whenever you hear of cases of cancer in a child, obviously that itself is alarming. When there's several cases in one school, that's even more alarming.
CBS News medical contributor, oncologist David Agus, says the number of cases warrants further investigation. But he says people exposed to RF waves at normal levels have not been found to be at higher risk for developing cancer.
The way to study this is to look at the incidence of cancer in proximity to these towers. We have to look at epidemiologic data, but the data to date, both in adults and children, don't point to these causing cancer.
The American Cancer Society says there is very little evidence to support the idea that being near a cell tower might increase the risk of cancer. But it also says very few human studies have focused specifically on that risk.
Do you believe the oncologists who say cell towers can't cause cancer?
I believe that everybody wants to believe our government. Technology is what it is, and it's growing, and it's growing out of control.
Ferrulli's son's cancer has returned, and he's now undergoing treatment. Prime's son Kyle is in remission, but he still undergoes scans every 3 months.
I've looked into his eyes, and I've looked at the fear that he has as a 9-year-old facing something, asking me, "Mom, am I going to die?" It would push you to fight as well. It would push any parent to fight. I won't stop until it's done, until that thing is gone.
For CBS This Morning, Carter Evans, Ripon, California.
She's right about that. The school district tells CBS News it has been in touch with the California Department of Health and has tested the school's soil and water as well. Now it is waiting for the results of those tests. But you can believe any parent will not stop until they find the answer if something is harming their children.
And it has to be hard to hear there's no connection while you're sitting here looking at your child who's losing his hair and is very ill.
Yeah, I'm glad they're testing this.